Hello and welcome. It is with great pleasure I welcome you to episode number 31, Digital Tourism, Bridging the Gap Between Communities and Destinations. This webinar forms a part of the ITU Digital Transformation webinar series. My name is Martin Brunskov. I'm the founding director of Open Agile Smart Cities, OASC, which is a global network of cities and communities. So a very, very timely topic here today, which is really on the forefront of many. It is my pleasure to be your moderator for the session. Today, on the occasion of the World Tourism Day, this webinar will explore the impact of emerging technologies and tourism in cities, while also underscoring the key strategies required for cities to employ digital technologies for enhancing quality of services for tourists and reducing operating time and cost of tourism-related services. Before we delve into the heart of our discussions, please take note of how the session will be run. All questions from the audience will be taken during the Q&A session after the presentation. Participants can submit their questions by typing in the Q&A window. The Q&A icon can be seen at the bottom of the screen. Please indicate the city and country you are connecting from. And if you're not in the city, just put the place. The webinar is being recorded and the recording will be made available on the event website. The presentation is made available also on the website. To begin today's webinar, I'd like to pass the floor to Seiso Ono-san, Telecommunication Standardization Bureau, TSB Director, for the opening remarks. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. The travel sector has undergone considerable transformation with the advent of emerging technologies such as AI, virtual reality, and more recently, the metaverse. Now, booking travel itineraries to different locations is just a few clicks away. It has made the world a smaller place and allowed us to explore and plan travel from the comfort of our own homes. The transparency and competition offered by digital platforms have made travel more accessible. Digital tourism has also transformed the way we experience destinations. Augmented and virtual reality technologies enable travelers to immerse themselves in the culture and history of a place. Mobile apps are also ideal tools to provide real-time navigation, language translation, and information of locally available cuisine and main tourist attractions. Today, on the occasion of World Tourism Day, this webinar will explore how digital tourism is reshaping the way we explore the world and help us to make informed choices when traveling. To better understanding the concept of digital tourism in the city context, this topic is being explored within the United for Smart Sustainable Cities initiative to create a world where traveling enriches our lives while preserving the beauty and diversity of our planet for generations to come. The metaverse and other immersive technologies could enrich the tourism experience in an unprecedented way. Just imagine being able to visit the Taj Mahal or the Leaning Tower of Pisa from our homes using immersive technologies. This will be the future that the generations to come will experience. I'm keenly looking forward to learning more about digital tourism from our panelists today to further understand the trend of how the tourism industry will evolve. I wish you all a fruitful webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, Ono-san, for these remarks. They fit very well into the presentations that we have up ahead. I would now like to pass the floor to Sandra Chaval, Chief of the Tourism Market Intelligence and Competitiveness at UNWTO. Over to you, Sandra.
Good afternoon. afternoon, distinguished panelists, dear colleagues from the tourism industry. Today, on the occasion of World Tourism Day, I'd like to celebrate tourism's resilience and stress the importance of using it as a driver of change, opportunity, and social justice. Since the 1980, the United Nations has celebrated World Tourism Day as an international observance on the 27th of September. This date was chosen on the day that the statutes of the World Tourism Organization in 1970 were adopted. My name is Sandra Carvalho, and I'm the head of market intelligence and competitiveness at the World Tourism Organization. And it's a pleasure to join you on this very special occasion. As we are on all full recovery with international arrivals back 84% of pre-pandemic levels, today is a great opportunity to think about how our mindsets and our actions in tourism can actually take us towards a more sustainable future. Tourism faces a new reality, challenges that come from demographic changes, climate change, but also the changes in technology which impact our day-to-day. We've gone through one of the worst crises in our history with COVID. Technology has shown that it can play a role, and particularly for small communities. UNWTO Focus on Tourism for Rural Development is an example of how we can help smaller communities and smaller destinations to actually withdraw from the gap that they suffer. Technology is actually printing structural changes in our sector. But beyond that, we need to understand it, we need to master it, and we need to ensure that it's part of the way. We need to ensure that we understand that technology is a means to an end, and that end is to make sure that tourism is more sustainable, more inclusive, and more resilient. Having access, capacity, and know-how is essential for communities. And this is why we're very happy in this context to share with you our work and to go hand in hand with ITU to create and advance smart destinations. Smart destinations in bigger areas like urban areas, but also in smaller areas like small communities. The use of the concept can actually help us advance very much in understanding our impact as a sector, but also in managing in a better way and preparing for shocks and crises. I thank you very much, ITU, for organizing this webinar, and I would like to wish you a very happy World Tourism Day. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you and UNWTO for those remarks and for setting the stage for the World Tourism Day. I'd like to encourage the audience to type in any and all questions you have to our panelists, and they will do their best to answer them during the Q&A session. We have a fantastic lineup for this webinar and will now move to session 1. I will give the floor to each speaker as the session progresses. First, I'd like to give the floor to Ms. Jessica Weber-Sabil, Professor in Digital Transformation and Cultural Tourism at the Academy for Tourism of Breda University of Applied Sciences in the Netherlands. Over to you, Jessica.
Thank you, Martin. It's a pleasure to be here. And I just set up my screen. I hope you can see it. Can you see the
Yes, we see it well. We need to see it in presentation mode, I think.
Okay, that's no problem. Okay, second, I make it.
Voila. Very good. Looks good to me at least now.
Yeah, good.
Well, actually, we see it in the.
Oh, this one. Oh, you see the big screen. I work with 2 different screens, so this one is better probably.
Now it's there. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Good, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I would like to speak about how digital technology is actually or needs to be accessible to communities using participative approaches, and especially looking towards increasing and implementing and improving digital policy making. And I would like to emphasize 2 projects I was involved in and which have just been finished. So let's talk, or let's see what does the cultural tourism landscape look like. And as Sandra was already mentioning, tourism faces a lot of challenges, and these challenges also apply, of course, to cultural tourism, cultural and creative industry in particular. On the one hand side, there's uncertainty And we have heard many things about it, of course, climate change, over-tourism, which is again on the agenda, because even though there was the pandemic, lots of destinations struggle again of over-tourism and lots of tourism capacity, which is not meant to be for their destination, not suitable because, yeah, it takes a lot of challenges on the local communities, like pollution and so forth. And on the other side, we also face a digital transformation, which means that technology is pushing towards the market, like ChatGPT, AI, big data, but also augmented and virtual reality, which should not be forgotten. And it's all about having access for this community to use these technologies, make them available in the most suitable sense, that it actually serves them to solve their problems in order to create a better life for them. And on the other side, we need to also see what system challenges are there. So tourism cannot be seen as a closed system in itself, because it draws on a lot of other systems like transportation, health system, and so forth. So we cannot only see tourism as growing and needs to have an ever-growing capacity, because that should not be the solution. We see that there's a carrying capacity to everything, especially to destinations, because a lot of tourists put a lot of pressure on destinations. So we need to come up with new methods and with new tools, and especially participative methods to engage stakeholders, different types of communities, to create a dialogue between the tourists, the stakeholders, but also the local communities. And hopefully digitalization and digital tools will be a solution, one of the solutions for that. My professorship is really young. I've just started a year ago, and we work with these different types of solutions. So we work with location-based games, we work with applied and serious games, but we also work with immersive technologies. And using these tools, of course, also AI, I forgot, using these tools to come up with new educational, but also business solutions. So what and how can digital technologies be used to serve communities, stakeholders, businesses, but also individual people? And we look into cultural heritage routes, tourism destinations, but also the GLAM sector. So the archives, the museums, and the theaters of this world. And as I mentioned, one of the projects I've been involved in is Smart Culture, which has just finished in June this year. And one of our duties within that project was to come up with a digital toolbox. And one tool was a series and applied game to engage stakeholders in a destination. And why did we do that? So the aim of this project was to support remote regions or rural regions to access their tangible and intangible cultural heritage assets, and include really much the local communities. So it's not only about a high-end, the municipalities and the tourism destinations, but really much working on the ground to come up with a sustainable solution for destination. And among Breda University, you can see these are all the other partners which have been involved. It was under the lead of KU Leuven. And one of the tools, was, as I mentioned, the applied and serious game. So an applied and serious game is that people actually learn something out of while they are playing and engaging in a dialogue and playful atmosphere. So the aim of that game was to stimulate that dialogue. How can actually cultural assets be integrated into tourism without creating too much tourists, but really making it suitable for the local communities, and what would be the right solutions. And we played it in 6 different living labs across Europe. Among them was Rotterdam, but also Spain, Zaragoza, and Vicenza in Italy. So within the professorship and within the interdisciplinary team we are working in together with game designers at this university, we developed that engaging tool. You can see a bit of a screenshot here to come up with new KPIs. So as I said, not only growing tourist numbers and increasing revenue, but really much looking into what other KPIs can be set, especially towards environmental factors, cultural factors, social factors, to come up with the best solution for that destination. So not everything fits one destination, of course, and every destination came up with their own solutions, and then they processed this intervention into other interventions along the toolbox. So as I said, we came up with 14 different tools within that toolbox, and if you want to find out more, just look up Smart Culture and you will find a whole overview on our website. And of course, digital transformations or digital tools are not only engaging the community, but they really much need to serve the community, because who else are we creating these tools for, if not for people? And another project I was involved in and also finished in June this year is called Digitourism. It was an Interact project where we looked into how different tools like AR and VR technologies could be used in different destinations. Among them was Sweden, Norway, and also the UK, Spain, and Italy. And we had a lot of best practices. They're also on the website of Digitourism if you want to look that up. But in order to implement those tools, new policies needed to be developed. So it's nice to have all of these shiny digital tools, of course, but if people don't know how to use them, if there's not the right infrastructure, if there's no investment in human capital, and if those products and services which should be developed are not really market ready, because some of them are really much in the prototyping and trying out phase, then it's really much in its infancy, so to say. So we need more strategic networks and interdisciplinary networks of technology people, of destinations who know the stories, who know the target groups, and who know also application cases. But really much also working with banks and with people outside of the tourism networks. Because only then, with interdisciplinary teams, you can implement these digital tools. Because there's no means of talking and implementing AR, VR, or we talk nowadays about the metaverse, if there's no real application case. And if there's no real return on investment for these communities, because at the end, the communities should profit, because it's their stories, it's their locations, and it's their insights, and not the business of big companies and big techs. And yes, that was my message for today. And if you have questions, please leave them in the comments and I'm happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Very, very important point here. For someone like me, I'm a university researcher who did his PhD with Lego, the play company. This, of course, resonates. No, but it's really also a different way of interacting and getting different stakeholders together. And also it's a fairly cheap way to spread these conversations. So I think it's really, really interesting. And of course, also how it then connects and gets, let's say, more rich perspectives on the issues at hand. I mean, sometimes it's often boiled down to just the economy or, you know, some let's say, iconic attractions or traditional ways of doing things. So I guess these methods are also a way to get different perspectives and maybe also new opportunities that may not have been obvious.
Exactly, because I mean, you can implement a lot of like flashy things. We also do digital humans, so we clone people here at the university, and it's really a lot of costs involved in this. But of course, at the end, it needs to serve a community, it needs to serve a purpose, and I think that's what it should boil down to, and which is really essential. Thank you, Martin.
Thank you so much. Moving on to the next speaker, I would like simply to give the floor to Mr. Alberto Bernal, Director of Territorios Digital, Physical Digital, I presume, from Indram Inside. So please, Alberto, enlighten us.
Thank you, Martin. Let me share. Let me share. I have like this to share. Do you see this or not?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, in any case, what I'm going to do is to present briefly a report that has it's called Smart Tourism: A Path to More Secure and Resilient Destinations. This report it's available on the webpage of U4SS cities in English and in Spanish. Okay, so anyone can access the report. It's I think the latest version. It's 71 pages, so it's a quite extensive and report, but it's very interesting. So what I'm going to do today is give a detailed vision of this report, this document, and how the destinations around the world can use it in the transition to a smart touristic destination. Okay.
Okay.
The origin
So just to say, maybe we can get the link in the chat so that the colleagues can maybe peruse the material while you present.
Yeah, I think I think
it's there. Thank you, Maitili.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Take it away, Alberto.
Great. Okay. So the first thing is this report emerged within, of course, the program EU4SS Cities, the city platforms working groups. In a moment, we started to work, all the people that have been involved in the report, I think middle of 21, and it was finished at the end of 22. So in a moment in which the concepts of smart cities and smart destinations were converging. Also, its beginning coincides with the moment of recuperation from the pandemic, from COVID, and so we decided within the group to give the report an orientation towards the world of the industry of tourism, which has, as we all know, a key role as an engine for economic growth, employment, and social and cultural development. Technologies, and in particular the digital platforms, are changing the way in which tourism is managed from beginning to end, and it's affecting how destinations collect data, develop product and services, access markets, and attract visitors. However, these technological advances carry along risks such as cyber attacks, the scarcity of resources, and the stress that impose on biodiversity, cultural heritage, and local communities. And this could have a bigger impact over the touristic industry in next years. To give an answer to these risks, smart tourism is a tool of tested efficiency to manage tourism based on data-driven decisions on key questions such as infrastructures, transport capacity, mobility, the management of natural resources and cultural resources, and the participation of communities in tourism. So the tourism industry sector must plan and manage its activities in an integrated way, including both residents and visitors, not to leave anyone behind. In this respect, the report has as a main objective to demonstrate how technologies and digitalization are powerful tools to advance towards a touristic industry able to guarantee its resilience, competitiveness, and sustainability in any scenario. The report was born with the spirit of being a practical guide for both public and private responsibles of the transformation process of tourism towards that digital and sustainable tourism, and incorporates in a very practical way, as I said, best practices and recommendations for any destination in the world to be able to advance in a solid and accelerated way towards that model. It is a live document, a live report, in which we all should be incorporating new initiatives. For example, we had the support and the participation of Segitur in the report. So, for example, very interesting initiatives that are taking place, are being constructed at this moment. As, for example, the national tourist intelligent national platform, and other initiatives such as the touristic data spaces. Making a brief review of the report, I would put in value some elements. In first place, the adoption of smart destinations model as the framework for the modernization of smart destinations. This framework has been developed under the supervision of the Secretary of State of Tourism through Segitur, and this framework uses a program for the people that don't know it, but it's a program with a methodology based on 5 axes, which are governance, innovation, technology, sustainability, and accessibility. A group of public standards for normalization by UNE, and the Smart Destinations National Network, which is a network of destinations, institutions, and companies, which more than 600 members up to today. This model reinforces governance through the active participation of the different stakeholders involved, public and private, in the industry of and put together the world of tourism and the technological industry. The methodology also reinforces internal structures of management, giving new capacities for local entities smart destinations. I would also like to make a special mention to the projection that this smart destination model is having in the international sphere as a good practice in tourism policy, with special interest in Latin America, where this is identified as a methodological instrument that contributes to give an answer to the challenges of the different destinations in the region, but is applicable to anywhere in the world. In second instance, the development of norms and standards for smart destinations. Here, one has to take into account that the transition from say a normal city or destinations to a sustainable and smart destination is very important to give an development to the characteristics of a smart destination. In this respect, ITU has developed and is developing international norms and standards. ITU recommendations that give orientation on a wide variety of aspects, such as global infrastructures, internet protocols, networks of new generation, IoT, and smart cities. These norms are included in the report for anyone's use. On their part, the Secretary of State of Tourism in Spain is also developing very interesting norms to improve management and the tools for smart destinations, and they're also listed in the report, and I think they are very interesting for all those people that are attending the webinar. In the third place, the platforms, smart platforms for touristic destinations. They are a fundamental artifact to give an answer to the challenges of, as I said before, of the destinations in an integrated way, based on a unified management, because those platforms allow for a unified management of all the different components, elements of the destinations, from supervision to operations. They also facilitate an economy and in tourist industry based on data. So the aim here is to get the most of data from the destination using the norms that and mechanisms, for example, ontologies that can guarantee interoperability between different systems and applications from the destination and others. Then distributed intelligent models. These include the capacity to combine and extract value from the information as a whole, so from new and legacy systems, mobile and applications on web, sensor technology, social networks, etc. And finally, these platforms allow for the development of an open innovation ecosystem, as they are open to the exterior world, with the objective of generating new solutions, business cases, and innovative entrepreneurial spirit in the destination. That's why the report asks for smart destination platforms designed as a solution that includes all the dimensions of the destination. These platforms must have some key elements. First, they must be designed with an approach based on intelligence, the use of data, and the integration of all the stakeholder participants and systems through open and interoperable solutions. in a model of interterritorial and inter-administrative cohesion that can scale through public and private collaboration. This approach is centered on data, is leveraged on infrastructure and software solutions that operate in the destination with the aim to advance towards a touristic model more efficient and more competitive. These platforms must allow the generation and integration of existing functionalities and applications and others that will be developed in the future in order to facilitate a dynamic growth model in the long term. The platforms also should assure the continuity of touristic services in a sustainable way in time. Just to finish, the report includes a number of use cases and solutions in a very detailed way from through all the value chain, including of the destination, including inspiration, promotion, commercialization, interaction of the destination with the tourist, and the offer and the touristic companies, and also the management and governance of the destination. And finally, the report includes several success cases of different smart destinations that are already using smart platforms to manage the public services that they provide to companies and visitors in a more smart and sustainable way, and they represent different touristic segments from cultural heritage, sand and beach, museums, sports tourism, etc., as an examples of what has been done so far and what is coming in the future. To finish, in essence, a very useful document to advance in the development of this smart tourism based in the smart destination concept and the smart management through smart platforms. So I would encourage anyone to have a look at the report, which is, as I said, very interesting and very useful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Alberto. And we already got a few questions, one in the Q&A, but we come back to that in the Q&A session. There was something about cybersecurity. I will now move on to Ramon Ferri, Director of Institutional Relations, Sequitur, to present. And I can think of no one better than Ramon to give a connection here, because Ramon, you have worked on the local side, you worked on the national side, you work on the global regional side, the global side, and also spend a lot of time actually trying to describe what are these salient points that, in fact, everyone should know. So it's a great pleasure also because I happen to be leading the build of the smart communities data space, which is closely related to the tourism data space in Europe. So I see so many touch points here. So thank you for creating the link now here from the report, which we can come back to, Alberto, and then over to you, Ramon, for some points.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much, Martin. So I will try to share my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, beautiful.
Okay, thank you very much. So I really like the title of this episode 31, because we, as Martin told, I was working on city management. We were working all the time on how we can provide with a data platform who has the possibility to provide to the planners of the city, planners of the destination, with an overall view, integral view of what is happening in the city. And then there is one thing in tourism that is in the until now, tourism was concerning on private companies just trying to a tourist attraction, and then they were trying to provide personalized services. But I think that the destination are not in the formula, and then it is really important that we bridging the gap between what is happening in destinations, in communities, and then what is happening in when this city is a destination. So it's really important that these platforms goes together, and we can see this overall view of what is happening in the city, how these transversal um, things like tourism can affect to all the parts of the city, and how we can improve the experience of the tourist, just providing a better city services. So we are just starting now the working group 7 concerning a smart destination platform. We are starting the work through or above the work that has been done in the um, deliverable that has been explained by Alberto. So yes, just to give you an overview of what we are doing on this city platform. As I told you, we are trying to see how we can produce IT artifacts, IT platforms in order to have this integrated management of cities, because it's with cities and destination uh, we are with different challenges that are really complex. We have to take into account many parts of the city. So it is important to see how we can interactuate, interoperable different solutions in order to have this overall view of what is happening. So we create a working group 1 concerning these IT solutions for integrated city management that was reply or was advanced in the working group 5. So we provide a reference framework for an integrated management of a smart, sustainable city. So both of these documents are published, deliverables are published, and then we work on another transversal problem concerning a smart public health management, emergency management, another vertical part, but also really transversal concerning tourist management from the perspective of a smart city platform. That is the one that has been explained by Alberto. And then another really important one that is concerning how these smart city platforms must be larger, or how we can provide with new architecture, new IT architecture for this unique overview of all the city. And now, and this was led by Martin, that is the moderator of this episode. So then now we are ongoing. All these 5 working groups have been results, so they have deliverable published. But now we are ongoing on 2 main working groups. One concerning another interaction of this new architecture concerning how data, how APIs are using in this smart city platform, and how we can provide with other information systems we have in the city, but how we can interpret with them in order to provide this overall view. And the other one, that is the one that I'm going to explain you, that is concerning this smart destination platform. So the working group that we have just started last week is a collaborative effort in order to define the governance, the models, the requirements, the technical architecture, and the roadmap for implementation of advanced technologies, advanced information systems in tourism destination. So we would like just to focus on how we can provide a model, how we can provide an environment, an ecosystem, and intelligent tourism ecosystem, and then how we can create this roadmap for all cities to evolution to a smart destination. So this group aims to enhance tourist destination competitiveness and sustainability by using technology, of course, as all the things that we are doing on United for Smart and Sustainable Cities, how to use technology in order to provide competitiveness and sustainability. And this working group also facilitate the exchange of best practices and promote collaboration among different stakeholders in the tourism sector. It's because it's really important that all the tourism sector work together in order to provide these added value services for tourists and for their own destination. And at the end, what we would like to have is to develop a common framework and set of guidelines in order to help tourist destinations to become smart, sustainable using this technology. And then, what is the smart city platform, the smart destination platform, which is the main focus that we are working on? It just to integrate a number of shared services and incorporate a collection of digital solutions in order to solve public problems that we have in the destinations that are created by tourists, and also to try to provide solutions for market failures. And then there is a number of great number of types of tourism that we haven't been resolved until now with IT solutions. For example, with pet tourists or religious tourists and so on. There is a thermal tourist, a great number of tourists that we need to identify the actors, the data they are interchanging, how they can provide services with these actors, with this data. So at the end, what we would like to have is to accelerate the digital transformation through the relationship between the agents of the tourism ecosystem, tourist destination, business sector, and connected tourists in favor of increasing hyper-connected tourists. So we are focusing on during the travel, what is happening with the tour when the tourist is on destination. So it's really important that to this tourist, in order to provide with personalized services, we put the destination in the formula, we take all the information coming from the destination and to share this information with the private tourist companies in order that with all this information together, we are able to provide that personalized services concerning in the place the tourist is, and personalized services also if he wants concerning the identity of the tourist. But at the same time, we are also providing better tools, more information to the planners of the tourist in order to have this overall view of what is happening. And at the same time, they can anticipate to this number of tourists in order to change the services, anticipate the services in order to that the experience of the tourist will be better when he is in the destination. And then, what is this smart destination ecosystem? It's all the destinations have three main actors: the tourist, the destination, and the XMEs, the business companies that are providing services. And then at the end, we have to solve two main things: added value, tourist personalized tourist services, and to solve public problems that are related with tourists. And what is the digital twin of this ecosystem? So the tourist intelligent ecosystem. So what we need to, as a country, we have to help to destination to have this digital transformation. And how we can do that? So just to providing common services to all destinations in order to have this common view, this common number of services that can provide the tourists with analog, homogenized number of services. We want also to provide this knowledge space where all the data coming from all places in this tourist sector come to one place. And then we have to provide with the ontology, with the semantic, with the artificial intelligence solution to this knowledge space in order to provide these added value services. At the same time, we need to provide this sharing space, this database, this data space for data sectoral data space for tourism, because there is a great number of actors involved, and then they need to have the possibility to share the data, to who share the data, what data, and in which way. And at the end, we would like to also to provide this testing and experimentation space in order that to go to take to or to give to the researchers and entrepreneurships with a great number of data cubes, and also with processing capabilities in the at the end, sandboxes, in order that they will be able to provide with services. This is the overall view of this holistic view of a country smart destination platform. So at the left part, you have the destination. We have more than 800 of destination that we are working on. And then we have at the other part, the infrastructure, the technical infrastructure, the common technical infrastructure for a country that we have to provide for this interaction between destination, tourist, and what we can provide. So in this ecosystem of each destination, you will see the managers of the tourists, the main tourists, the SMEs, the great companies, the researchers, and also the technological providers. So we are going to help to provide them with a number of services concerning artifacts for hubs and APIs, concerning intelligence motors for fidelization. So also the dashboard for all the data that we have to provide, and how we are going to provide these common services with four main platforms. One platform that is concerning the common services that we are going to provide. We have identified 23rd services, so it is able to provide these common services for all the destinations. So we need also this knowledge platform in order to manage this data ecosystem. And then with this platform, we are the ability to provide with a ontology semantic um, information, vocabulary of what is happening, how we see the world concerning these tourists in this destination with these interactions. So we have created an ontology that we are able to have a common view for all the sector. So we have the ability also to provide artificial intelligence concerning generative artificial intelligence, and of course, dashboard for all the information for the planners to have this overall view of what is happening. The other main platform is concerning this data space for sectoral tourism. So then we are waiting for the good job that the European Commission is done concerning, for example, data spaces. We are waiting for the work done by Gaia X and the work done by Simple Project and so on. So with these main building blocks, we will be able to provide these main characteristics for this sectoral tourism data space. And at the end, we need for open innovation with all this great number of data that we are going to provide for a country. With this great number of data, you will be able to provide these common spaces, these sandboxes for perform more solutions. So just to finalizing, this is the proposed working plan that we have created for this working group 7. So we expect to finalize all the work on next year and at the end of the next year. So then we are just working together. So we are co-leading this working group with the UN WTO, so the World Tourism Organization. So then we are working together in order to identify the best practices that we have concerning using of technology for this common management of the tourism sector. And then we will be able to provide this common framework and the ability to see this roadmap that for all the cities to have this common journey to this smart destination for all the cities around the world. So it is really important that in this journey, that tourism sector and city management work together with unique platforms or the ability to interoperate between these platforms in order to provide these common solutions. And this is all that we would like to share with you.
Thank you so much, Ramon and colleagues, because certainly what you present here involves lots of people doing lots of things, but very, very concrete and ambitious work. So there was a question. Maybe we don't have so much time for questions, but I don't know, maybe if all the colleagues here would want to reflect on at least one thing. There are some questions about how to get involved. I think that's all very visible from the website, and how to get a certificate and so on. Maybe we can take that in the Q&A written. But is it already there? Or is it work in progress that we are defining these things? And of course, how much of this is standards and how much of this is just, evolving practice? And I would invite both you, Ramon, and our two other speakers, Jessica and Alberto, also to give you a very concise, very short reflection on this. Is it already there? And how much of this is actually standards work and how much is just, work?
Yeah, I think that's, well, I will try to answer you. I think that is both of them. There is some really things that we have already in place. So, for example, all the normalization concerning city platforms are already there. All the great job that you have done concerning memes and so on. So there are things that are there, and there is another thing that are really, really innovative. For example, all the things that are concerning data spaces, because we are just creating now standards on data spaces. So we need these building blocks in order to provide concrete data spaces on each sector and each country. What is really important is that each country has some kind of neutral point in order to be confident with all the actors that are going to sharing information in each data space. Sorry.
Alberto,
No.
a quick comment before.
Yes, I think it's very important to say, and very interesting for everyone that is in the panel and the webinar and others, to have a look at all the ongoing work. It's preparatory, but very very advanced and very concise towards this Spanish national platform. For example, one of the latest deliverables was the ontology model for tourism, and that is something that I think would be very interesting for everyone. And so I'm selling here Segitur, but they all should go to the Segitur webpage, and they have all these documents published that are extremely interesting.
Thank you, Alberto. So again, it's very concrete. There's the links directly available also from the presentations, which will be shared. Jessica, a final reflection before I give the floor to Cristina Boetti to have some closing remarks.
I think we have seen a lot of really nice application cases and really nice use cases, but in my research I've found that there's a lot of isolated and applications like digital innovation hubs, and there's a lot of destinations on the forefront pushing digital transformation and smart cities. However, it's important that we get everybody on board, like rural areas, people who have like minorities, and that they also have access to these technologies. So my little criticism on all this nice concept is that we need to bring a little bit more equality into this these discussions, because people who have a migration background or who are belonging to any types of minorities should also have access and should also be considered in these big concepts. And I don't see that very much. And only then we can find a good solution for local communities, because not everything which has these big umbrellas of smart tourism destinations fit for everybody, and especially not for rural communities.
Right. Okay, thanks. Very, very important remarks and very well reflecting, I think, the ambitions on U4SSC. But there is an ongoing action called Communicity, which is actually doing 100 pilots regarding some of these new technologies, AI and extended reality, mixed reality, and so on. Actually, to target the needs of vulnerable communities. So I mean, there is certainly some things that are there, but it's smaller than the big mainstream, which is perhaps often the case. Thanks for bringing that very important point, and thanks for a lively and very timely discussion on all these matters. Christina Bueti, if I may ask you to reflect before we close.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Martin. And well, good day to everyone. I think that today's webinar has been very insightful. And really, I would like to thank all the speakers, the participants for your valuable contributions and especially engaging discussion. Today we celebrate World Tourism Day, and certainly your expertise, your enthusiasm have illuminated the potential of emerging technologies, especially to transform the tourism sector and to create more inclusive, efficient, and also enjoyable experiences for all. We have learned, about great experience and also the real projects ongoing, in Spain, but also the work that has been done, and it's also ongoing in the United for Smart Sustainable City Initiative, which is really a UN initiative. So, and in particular, this working group on smart tourism is spending a lot of efforts actually to develop deliverable that could be used by cities. Throughout today's webinar, we have also explored the critical role of digital transformation in reshaping the tourism industry. So I think that, Martin, as you mentioned, the power of harnessing artificial intelligence, IoT, virtual reality, and other, emerging technologies, we can really create responsive and adaptive environments that can gather the unique needs of tourism and also help to enhance the quality of life for all inhabitants. And I think this digital tourism has really the potential to foster strong connection between communities and destination. And by leveraging data-driven insights, cities especially can develop target strategies to attract visitors while preserving their unique cultural heritage and promoting sustainable tourist practices. I think it's also very important to consider the use of new technologies, like, for example, the metaverse. The ITU has recently established a new focus group on metaverse, and one of the task group is specifically looking at the use of metaverse for tourism. So I'd like to take the opportunity to invite all of you to join the focus group. The focus group will have its third meeting next week from the 3rd to the 5th of October in Geneva, but also remotely. It's a focus group which is open to all, so anyone can join, and you're really most welcome to continue to reflect on today's discussion and let us not really forget the importance of collaboration and partnership. So join us in this effort. The success of digital tourism depends really on a collective efforts of cities, governments, industry stakeholders, local communities, and also international organizations like ITU or UNWTO. I really would like to express my sincere gratitude to all of you for your webinar and your dedication to exploring actually the untapped potential of digital tourism is vital to ensuring that the benefits of these technologies are realized and shared by all. And with that, I'd like to conclude this webinar. Thank you so much again, and I wish you all a lovely day. Thank you. The webinar is actually adjourned.